Let me share with you some tips and tricks on using the rolled hem foot on your Janome sewing machine. We'll talk about prepping your fabric and then using the foot to get that nice professional finish. Today I've got this piece of fabric ready to go to make a fabric napkin set with. It's really easy to do a rolled hem on a single layer of fabric, and this will be a quick way to get this set done. I will be using the narrow rolled hem foot. We do have different options available with different thicknesses. I'm using the narrow one today because I'm going to be going around this curved edge and all of these curved corners. So I like a more narrow finish to go around there more easily. The other thing I've done with my fabric is I have treated all along the edges all the way around with a starch spray. So I've taken it to my ironing board already and it's prepped and ready to go. The reason that I added the starch spray all to the edges is because it keeps my fabric from stretching as much, and it gives a nice roll as it's going through the rolled hem when it has just a little bit more stability to it, and especially when we're going around these curves and we might hit some bias edges. That starch spray is really handy to just at least get around the edges of my fabric. The other thing that I like to do when I'm choosing the thread that I'm using for a rolled hem foot, we will actually be sewing this with the right side down on your machine. And so when the rolled hem, it will come over and roll up the edge to a very small rolled hem like this, which means that your bobbin thread will become your top thread on the finished project, and your top thread will show up on the back. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your thread. If you always sew with a white or a neutral bobbin, keep in mind it will show up on the front, so you may want to switch out your bobbin for a color that coordinates better with your fabric. So let's take this to the machine and I'll show you how to get it set up properly with the foot and get going on our rolled hem. We've got our rolled hem foot attached to the machine right now. And as we get started sewing the rolled hem, we need to sew a little bit just so that the fabric can start to roll around the metal portion in front of here, which means that we want to sew an inch or two without the needle threaded. So I will go ahead now and we will unthread the top needle just so we can start out here getting it to go around that portion. So what I'll do is before I put my foot down, I bring my fabric up and I take the edge and I roll it around that middle part of the foot just a little bit. It doesn't have to be exact because again, we're not actually going to sew the first inch or two with thread. We're going to sew just to give it a chance to get that nice roll. And as soon as we see the nice roll start to come out through here, we can stop and leave your foot down to hold it, and we'll then thread the machine and actually sew. So I'll start sewing now, and we'll go slowly and just start to take and make sure that that edge stays. And you see how it just caught and now it's rolling underneath again. And I can see now through the slot towards the back and coming out of the back that it is rolled right now. Here is where we can start sewing. So I'll leave my foot down. I will lift my needle up and we'll go ahead and thread that with our needle threader. Okay, we've got that threaded. This slot in the foot is open on the right side so that we can pull our thread through there if we need to get it going. Okay. Sometimes if your foot's down really tight, you'll need to pull it around a little bit to get it going underneath there. Okay, right now we will go ahead and start sewing. What we want to do as we're sewing is keep enough fabric here that it has enough to roll all the way around. I'm getting to my curved edge, so as I'm curving around, I still just want to make sure that we've given it enough fabric to fold over, and then at the same time we're folding this fabric over, I am also starting to turn and shift my project just a little bit, as I'm just like I would sew on any other curve. And you'll kind of get to know each different rolled hem width foot needs a little bit different amount to roll over. You know, the wider the rolled hem, the more you may need to kind of fold this over. So we'll take this and I'm gonna go around and go all the way over to the starting point, and I'll stop about 2 inches from the starting point, and I'll show you how to finish off the rolled hem from there. We are just about to finish this off, and this portion of the rolled hem is already wanting to fold in and roll in on itself. And then this part, we don't even need to run through the rolled hem foot. You can either use the rolled hem foot without it having pull it up and do a straight, or you can switch out your foot to a regular sewing foot and start overlapping here just a little bit if you want to back stitch, and come along and edge stitch this and overlap that a little bit, and we are done, and we have an entire rolled hem around our entire napkin. And that's how easy it is to make a rolled hem using the rolled hem foot and properly prepared fabric. And you have a set of napkins in no time.